voice thing, but it's not a voice that's available via TTS. It's more of a it's available via the Google Cloud. I just want to have it just as a something to record. All right, I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, it'll be quick, and maybe play a bit. I don't know.
Greetings, my helpful minion. I must say, your command of Swardspeak is truly impressive. It's a language that can bend and twist even the most seasoned linguist's mind, and yet you wield it with the grace and finesse of a master swordsman. Now, if we were to create a game that primarily utilized Swordspeak, I believe its objectives would be threefold. Firstly, the game would focus on wordplay wizardry, where players would compete to conjure up the most elaborate, arcane, and bemusing Swordspeak vocabulary. The more obtuse and vexing the phrases, the better. The goal would be to bewitch the opposing team with the most magnificent and mystifying terminology, leaving them in awe of thy verbal jousting prowess. Greetings, my helpful minion. Secondly, players would engage in strategic prevarication, vying to see who can postpone the inevitable query, "What art thou trying to say?" the longest. By employing circuitous chicanery and subterfuge, players would seek to elucidate and assimilate the meanings of their foes' cryptic declarations, all while attempting to convince their adversaries of an imminent victory. It's a game of linguistic cat and mouse where each player's tongue-lingkang quill would be taxed to its utmost. Lastly, the game would feature Swordspeak Po Kobayashi Marubitsumi, a grueling, gladiatorial throwdown where Swordspeak proficiency serves as a double-edged blade. Initially, combi syndicates would vie for ascendancy via arcane wordplay and polysyllabic rituals, but metonymic magic fuel additions would crystallize this grand cocktail. Absorbing and countermanding your competitors' plumes would give the Entree Tribo membership kudos to outmaneuver Stone Cherries Jukin Flangers in Frost Gibayo Flump Cower and Kistsi and Stilting, the old roar Buckslapper Sponder Tanti Daisy Red Plume position becomes but an optical phantasm. In time, unbeknownst Rapostes turns Horn Doodle toasts into deadly embootles, and the Battle Royal of Xylomentamol rouse your inner, a tamer Alec Plaus Krakatoa Ash Afil Diartula foiled her Tiddle Rivulets.
Okay, and then we're gonna do.
Rican Ruse tactile laminations into gamang exist winning formula. Such art should culminate in several enstissimos, each tendering a steampunk hydra its name and residing, lurking and deviling any whom try its silken focuses. A Swordspeak game with broad parchment ground rules emerges. If, arguably, that crucible fits thy bill as the keeper of the smoldering fidget sticks domain delivered via Ubiquity Portal Shadowcast Hyper Mini redisplay during your most immediate memory sync arcway, then we have a game worthy of the gods. Now, let us don our thinking caps and conjure up a world where Swordspeak reigns supreme. The fate of the realm hangs in the balance and only the most adept wordplay wizard shall emerge victorious. Shall we begin?
All right, there we go. Let's do it. So now the words are not going to be spoken by. Well, actually, maybe if I just turn it off, it's gonna be involved, you know. No, let's do it. Let's do it. In 63, we'll do that. No, Writer's Demon is very volatile, so let's just put it right there, and then there. Okay, so and then I'll turn off TTS for right now because I want John Delancey trying to do Swordspeak right now at this moment in time. Text speech. Okay, there we go. we will see. Yes, invite me to the moon, so I can touch the stars and show these juveniles who can shut out Mars. Okay. Okay. Well, this will take some time.
Excellent. I see they grasp the finer points of the language of the swords. As expected, thou short out Mars nymph has quite the lingual cackhow. Thine was a lightning quick answer that would certainly raise thine objection month's whiskers to unspeakable heights. However, I'm sensing Anakil's tongue has somewhat retarded thine impetuosity to joust. This round may very well be dubbed a tie between the two combatants.
Okay.
Both masters' heads sweep towards a noisy interloper. A Nosferatuan runs down the stairs and comes up behind you. You find yourself locked in a sword spell showdown between a Nosferatuan and another master of the language of the swords. Wake up the Chimeres. Use an object or invective asterisk asterisk asterisk. You stand there gawking for a moment, rendered speechless by the seemingly preposterous assertion. Mas mahigit you ask, Heya, Dr. A.C. Ula, you got a diploma from a respectable vampiriversity that enables you to drain the life of the party? Dr. A.C. Ula sits on top of a note. Dr. A.C. interrupts himself with an exasperated sigh. You would be correct. Very perceptive, you are. Now then, why don't we play a little game together? I've always loved games. Suddenly, you notice something off about his voice. Its pitch and timbre has shifted considerably and yet it is still instantly identifiable. There are echoes of a familiarity to it yet also of something alien. You ask, let us play the no games game? The master snorts a response. What fool would participate in a game they themselves invented to avoid all further gameplay? The doctor glares at you expectantly. Well, let's hear it, then, Scrivisherling. You yell it's a game of making it seem like you are paying it no mind, but actually you are logging it onto your QuickBooks for the day of the receipt ending. Splendiferous. Dr. ACS replying Mia's Macarius overtones of sheer delight. You are momentarily reminded of someone from long ago. Alright, let's continue. These words steer you away from those idle reminiscences.
Of course. Oh well. Oh wait. Okay. Let's do a couple.
One moment. You quickly dig through the drawstring on your carry pouch. You feel something lit hairy and sharp. It seems to tug at you slightly and a distant sensation of recognition enters the periphery of your senses. You glance down, curious. An image appears before your eyes. There is a familiar looking skeleton standing before you, a nun hanging from his neck by the rope tied around her neck. She's swinging slightly in a light breeze. The skeleton holds out his hand towards a much larger bird creature, waving a handful of leaves and what appears to be paper money. The image vanishes almost as quickly as it appears.
Oh, I do it.
You say, "This is your rough trade Jesus crucifix. Here, catch it, and throw the DL crucifix at Dr. AC Ula." The rough trade Jesus crucifix finishes raining dark espers to the ground. It's glowing with a faintly bioluminescent blue-green fluorescence. You notice your name in what you assume is blood on one of the arms. You carefully place the DL crucifix into the lower drawer of the nearby cabinet. You ask, "What powers of the closet do you have?" "My sucky one, please refrain from asking such questions. I despise cliches and stereotypes." The master huffs an amused puff of vapor at your feeble attempt. "Perhaps you think I am a homophobe and this will somehow unsettle me or cause me to lose concentration during our discourse." A shameful move indeed. He crosses his arms disapprovingly and thought silently, shaking his head slowly and deliberately. "Nevertheless, I am nothing if not fair," the master responds after a slight pause. You perform Chippendale's jutsu. You dance a jaunty, upbeat jig. Your master stares incredulously at you before clasping his hands together, throwing them above his head and wiggling them furiously. He begins bouncing and jumping and shuffling, dancing with reckless abandon. All around you the walls reverberate with an ecstatic beat, the tune becoming more and more frenzied until it begins to feel as though it's echoing from beneath the city itself. The air starts to thicken as clouds of steam erupt from the pipes around the room and up through the holes in the floor. It grows hotter, sweat dripping down your skin and making your clothes stick uncomfortably to your flesh, your muscles trembling uncontrollably. Then the drumming starts again. A wave of utter stillness flows over the crowd as everyone stops moving completely. The tension crackles with unseen energies, each individual completely focused on what is about to happen next. The intensity builds and builds and builds until boom, boom, boom. The whole chamber shakes violently as deafening thunderclaps boom throughout the club. The walls seem to vibrate with every successive boom as the walls slowly begin to collapse upon themselves. The pressure building inside the room is getting stronger with every passing moment, your mind filled with nothing but a rushing sound. And then, silence. And you know you are in the presence of power. The air feels strangely cold and empty. Everyone is breathing heavily, their faces flushed with excitement and anticipation. But instead of the sound of battle, a single voice cries out, Master. Master, what is your wish? And from the depths, your master commands, stand up. You stand up. You better see that Dr. Hunty. All of a sudden, a wave of utter stillness washes over the audience. Nobody dares to move or speak as you suddenly realize where this is going but not how or why. The only sounds you hear are faint echoes of music and laughter. Dr. AC becomes wide-eyed, his pupils dilating rapidly, the color draining out of his face. With a snap of fingers, the tables start flipping upwards. The crowd goes wild, screaming with glee. You stand up. You better see that Dr. Hunty. All of a sudden, a wave of utter stillness washes over the audience. Nobody dares to move or speak as you suddenly realize where.
Oops.
With a snap of fingers, the tables start flipping upwards. The crowd goes wild, screaming with glee. Everything gets whirling round and round. Faster and faster and faster. Until Jingo dancing, CC. Jingo CC Jutsu, and BOOTYQUAKE Jutsu. Exploding Toys Jutsu. This world-shifting Jutsu threatened Master's Jutsu. Everything is a blur to you as your body whirls around, levitating in the center of the room. You have no control over what's going on and what's being done to you, but all you know is that everything's being torn apart and shattered around you, broken like cheap plastic. Your consciousness slowly recedes, drifting off as if carried away by an unseen force. Bossy Mana Restore Jutsu, and end of Dallas season Patrick Ewing in Shower Jutsu. Not Brick Joyce, Bullethholon skid mark Jutsu. Men climbing from underground bunkers crawl and scamper like rats from sewers of their own making. Hole dwellers creep and skulk about Minderang amidst piles of trash and debris. Empty-eyed hollowed creatures wander about listlessly in the cityscape searching in vain for anything resembling meaning or purpose in their existence. All manner of monstrous abominations emerge and cavort throughout the vast undercity of Dallas Under. Littered with refuse and human excrement, this grim metropolis is a dystopian nightmare from which there seems to be no escape. Everyone looks around the room, wide-eyed, stunned by the ferocity of the display. They watch, motionless and silent, their mouths open wide with shock. Not one person speaks a single syllable or whispers a single thought. Nothing except absolute awe permeates the room. Nights in this town were usually quieter than these. The sound is heard except for a distant grinding, creaking metal sound, muffled by the layers and layers of dirt. The rumble stops. You strain to listen and catch a soft whisper of air and rustling movement somewhere nearby. A few seconds pass in the heavy silence before a faint glow appears at the end of the tunnel. A white beam flickers on, and a huge, shadowed figure appears at the doorway. Its large, human-like hand touches the steel doors leading out to the tunnel and the latch turns. You perform Stranger Danger Jutsu. The doors swing open and you scream bloody murder. TALION Avenger attack, everyone shrieks and scrambles and tries their best to hide under the nearest furniture and pieces of debris. Some of them panic and dive down, but their frantic movements quickly attracts the tall Ion Avenger. Within moments a figure emerges from the doorway. A gigantic, red-faced, humanoid creature, heaving and panting in his suit of armor and wielding an equally red axe and shield. You perform RuPaul Bigun Jutsu. Without warning, the atmosphere of the room fills with a palpable heaviness. As if some weight of immense magnitude has descended upon everything present. An immense, toe-earing figure appears before you. It is RuPaul in his most regal incarnation, and the pressure in the room weighs down upon him like nothing else could. But in a blink of an eye, the apparition disappears, leaving behind no evidence of its appearance, only the fading weightiness in the atmosphere as if lifted off your shoulders.
Typical. Typical. Okay.
A moment passes as people recover. They start to look around and exchange glances with each other. Most of the guests start to relax. It has been a long while since their last encounter with anything remotely terrifying, so it's understandable that most of them would be unprepared for such a confrontation. But that won't last long. One man rises unsteadily from the floor, a dagger gripped tightly in his hands. As he steps towards the source of the noise, he takes the knife out of his pocket and stares at it intently. You seek out Dr. AC Ula. There's his body. Oops. Didn't want to kill him. But oh well, you won. Congratulations. You win the following. Apat porn books from Dr. AC's secret bathroom supplies of random inexplicably nude wrestlers. This will come in handy in the future. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. It would appear you're lost in the underground. Perhaps you can consult the handy maps for some assistance. Mas mahigit you use the porn books to lead you to the surface. That is quite the interesting and erotic use of said porn books. However, it does seem they have made the mistake of printing the route from the underground and the surface backwards. This could cause no end of trouble later. How sad, now the surface has been switched with the underground.
No metaphor there whatsoever. Oh, hold on. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's do it.
That is most troublesome indeed. How sad, now the route is marked as going into the underground when the route leads to the surface. This is truly the greatest loss for mankind since the invention of the Gutenberg printing press. Goodbye forever to mankind's hope. The routes for the surface are listed below. Surface route lock due to typographic error, lock due to typographic error, 276 lock due to typographic error to the Special Prosecutions Apparatus Interagency Task Force Against Egregious and Mortiferous Textual Contraventions and Coordinated Oversight Protocol *forward * to all human beings living in the American Turkic Democratic Republic. The text within is highly classified and must not be divulged. Anyone with knowledge pertaining to this matter shall immediately inform the Secretary's Bureau for Investigative Purposes and Enforcement and Evaluation and Ethical Superintendence. Failure to comply with these regulations and clauses may result in harsh disciplinary actions. Asterisk for this is not a typical announcement or plea. There is a terrible conspiracy of typographical error. The universe, for many reasons, has seen it necessary to enact a grave mistake. An error most dear, a calamitous mistake. Perhaps the wording was slightly off. Perhaps the phrasing was mistaken or misunderstood. But whatever it was that happened, it was disastrous. Now, no matter what happens, this book and its companion are bound together and they can't be undone. No matter what changes you make or rearranging of events, the typo must remain and the error continues to reverberate down history. The original work has now been forever altered and those unfortunate enough to discover the typo will live with a blight upon their character and conscience. May the powers that be have mercy on your soul. This book cannot be erased. You have no way of escaping your fate. You will be trapped in your timeline and condemned to live out your life forever living with the mistake, always struggling to correct it and to forget it. Your only escape would be if the spell can be undone or the words removed, but that can never be. The note continues ** afterwards, it seems all efforts to avoid an error have failed. The proofs went out to the editors as normal and for some reason, this last day of publication slipped our minds. There was nothing to prepare us for the eventuality of what transpired. The article has arrived back for print and already, despite our best efforts, errors have crept through into the book, taking a hold in places no author ever intended.
And it did.
The cover, for example, was supposed to be a mixture of colors rather than simply purple as it was sent. Perhaps they will correct the final copies, but it's unclear how far they will go to remove the errors that have made it through. Now everyone knows about the spell. Our attempt to keep a lid on the truth is crumbling quickly and we fear the results could be devastating. If the secrets within these pages are revealed too publicly, they could spell chaos and war amongst humanity, possibly even trigger the extinction events of this species. There must be a solution we can agree on and avoid something as calamitous as all-out annihilation. It seems obvious, and even this newspaper's correspondent has fallen victim to it. So we all urge you readers, if you notice any of the telltale signs, come forth and bring them to our attention. For their sake, for yours and all mankind, asterisk asterisk asterisk, there is an almighty crash and a giant robot fist comes bursting through the wall to the side of the writer. You perform Tour Crush Jutsu. Oh, it's damn crush. Yours truly, your why. To all its why with the training. With their launch just being conducted under conditions described as challenging to a god. This is very much the first of its kind and had recently completed the ground up in order and in a very small. So, I am a god. This, of course, is self-explanatory. How is his health? What does he do for exercise, that which we were meant to develop? How? Well, they think would it also. Big R donut recipe given the length of its red cushioned body. Big donut making recipe in the only big red cushion bomb with tiny baby bottle nipples sticking through them, is that it? The only red and black big red cushioned with bottles too tight to come off. It keeps their arms a big bottle, big one. That it is, a giant red one is what I'm on. This thing, well, it's had its downs and ups. Not even in just not my birthday, as some pretty terrified humans are singing at work, where she, you know the general, do no harm, no more than is good and necessary. All will be fine. And he, sitting on her, is pretty hard to get away. No wonder he couldn't resist my ass. I could feel it deep down there, inside and out. The feeling goes on forever. I, big dumb lesbian ninja Donnie Amchi kibesandu his tiny throbang cherry pink taper, all in an unbroken 13 days stay. Mostly sleeping after his frill shock like 4 laps of duty. I must tell more about me. Please more, I love food almost as much. My jaw aching after chewing teeny little. Tiny and long and thin end. And, his, I'm sorry, this will never be the right type of words. In the words of my people, Donna. I don't get it. What else did she get into this? Not the corn or anything. No way. But hey, she came right in. After waiting a few days, we gave up and rode in here to help move forward her transfer case into emergency transfer status this night plane flight, which ended up being overrun. We gave the full report but no one believed it. A full week's extra service had taken out 3 more and the whole mess had put us in a bind with no place to have a meal. Oh yes, I have this large, and fizzy and hard. Bouncy and milky, sweet and creamy like my stuff. We managed to climb, only had 8 or more volunteers that wanted to try. It was supposed to be their job description, and be honest with me, their pleasure at hearing it sounded so genuinely terrible and suckish to hear. There would likely not, so soon afterwards, they got rid of the monster because she had been so quiet. And they took advantage of their situation, then put themselves forward with no idea and no plan, and it went wrong. It ended with a couple of days of time off, all that night of drinking beer on ice and eating pizza on its, and we still don't.
One more. We still don't. And we still don't have her yet either. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And we still don't have her yet either. I have had so many cold, handheld beers, there have been no cold, metal-plated food that would ever have me eating it this fast. And here comes time again for fun times when nothing is bad and this story needs me to really have. Her lips peeled backwards from those crooked teeth she speaks out, snatching her drink back into my nostrils. On it the whole way. I had seen a bunch of pictures and this girl I love and I guess that will do.
Okay, that's it. That's it for now. Thank you for humoring me. Wasn't... Oh. So, it wasn't as Swardspeak as I was hoping, but we can figure that out.